Right now, we're learning a Madison homicide suspect was part of a prosecution diversion program.
And Madison fire departments are using a new kind of foam that's better for the health of people and the environment.
Plus, Prairie residents may be seeing higher than expected taxes this year following a successful referendum.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
And thanks for joining us. First tonight, a suspect is in police custody in connection to a fatal shooting that happened over the weekend.
Gabriella Becerra joins us with more information. Gabriella?
Earlier this year, the suspect, 20-year-old Marcus Hamilton, was accepted into the First Offenders Program, which allows defendants to avoid a criminal conviction with a deferred prosecution contract. Hamilton's contract was assigned after he was charged with forgery. His contract was set to expire in September 2020, according to court documents. Over the weekend, Hamilton was arrested on a tentative charge of first-degree intentional homicide after he allegedly shot 18-year-old Gunnar Hullum of Dodgeville off of Fish Hatchery Road on Madison's south side. Hullum later died at the hospital. Today, Madison police spokesperson Joel Despain confirmed that Hamilton's father, also named Marcus Hamilton, was shot to death in this Tempe Drive apartment in 2008. Hamilton was 9 years old at the time and was home at the time of the shooting when two men were convicted of that murder and sent to prison. This shooting marks Madison's third homicide of the year, and authorities say there is reason to believe that the two people involved knew each other.
Gabriella, thank you. The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner says a 23-year-old man involved in a shootout with police has died from his injuries. His identity has not been released. Police say last night officers tried pulling the man over for reckless driving. He reportedly hit a light pole while trying to escape, then got out of his car and started shooting at officers. 3 officers have been placed on leave while the shooting is under investigation. The man charged with driving off the road and hitting and killing a group of Girl Scouts in Chippewa County has pleaded no contest. Colton True had originally pleaded not guilty. Today, he was found guilty on 4 counts of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. A criminal complaint says True was huffing a can of air duster when he hit and killed 3 Girl Scouts and one of their mothers in Chippewa Falls last November and then left the scene. He is scheduled to be sentenced in March.
To weather, seasonably cold temperatures sticking around for just a bit. Let's check your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti. Gary?
Yeah, after a little bit of a snowy start to the day today, the sun came out, or at least partially came out, and melted much of the snow. A big winter storm is occurring to our south from St. Louis over toward Indianapolis, with a severe weather outbreak from Tennessee southward to the Gulf Coast. But around here, high temperatures were in the upper 20s. Madison hit 29. Janesville topped out at 30. To the north, temperatures were in the mid-20s. Current temperatures are in the low to mid-20s, few upper 20s near the Illinois state line. By tomorrow morning, look for partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be around 15 here in Madison. Tomorrow's high temperature under partly sunny skies should be around 29. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes very quiet weather as we head toward the Christmas holiday.
Gary, thank you. New at 6, Beaver Dam police have released surveillance photos of the shoes and the backpack worn by suspects who vandalized the Beaver Dam rotary lights, the display in Swan Park that was damaged overnight, the night of December 4th into the 5th. An anonymous donor now offering a $5,000 reward for credible information. We have instructions to submit a tip on our website, channel3000.com. The Madison Fire Department says it has switched to a PFAS-free firefighting foam, becoming the first major city in Wisconsin to make that change.
The new foams have been tested, showing that they are better for the environment. Our Amanda Quintana is here with the details. Amanda?
Previously, Madison firefighters used one type of foam to treat all fires. Now they have 2 options. One for Class A fires, most fires with ordinary combustible fuels, and one for Class B with flammable liquids. Today, firefighters showed us the new foam they will use the most. It's called Knockout. When tested, it showed fluorine levels at about 1 part per million compared to typical firefighting foam that has 5,000 to 7,000 parts per million. That fluorine and other chemicals known as PFAS make the previous foam difficult for it to disintegrate in the environment. Those chemicals have contaminated wells, groundwater, and waterways here in the city and have been linked to birth defects, thyroid issues, and even cancer.
You know, obviously we care about each other. We care about our constituents in the city of Madison, the groundwater, drinking water. We all have families in the area, families that are growing up here. So, yeah, it's extremely important.
Firefighter Bob Lulling says the department's main concern was making sure the foam suppresses fire as well as the last one did. He believes it will work just as well. The rest of the previous foam has been disposed of and all of the stations switched over on Friday. In terms of money, this new foam is a little bit more expensive, going up to $112 per 5-gallon pail instead of $108.
Amanda, thank you.
District 13 Madison Alder Tag Evers is reminding residents to check that they're registered to vote at their current address after Friday's court ruling to deactivate more than 200,000 voters who may have moved. You can go to myvote.wi.gov, click on the My Voter Info tab, enter your name and date of birth to check if you're registered at your current address. You can register at that website if your address matches what's on your driver's license. If not, you can bring a proof of address to your local library and register to vote there. Meanwhile, Democrats plan to use the open records law to get the names of voters affected by that ruling to remove more than 200,000 voter registrations. State Party Chair Ben Wickler calls the ruling, quote, an organizational challenge, not a crisis. A judge ruled the name should be deactivated immediately, but legal appeals could delay that for months.
Governor Tony Evers is calling a special session for the Joint Finance Committee to consider funding to address homelessness. The governor says a request to provide assistance to homeless individuals and families was sent to the Budget Committee in mid-July to give them time to act before winter. In a letter to the committee's Republican co-chairs, Evers says he is convening a special session on Thursday afternoon to act upon the, quote, vital request. People in Sun Prairie who are upset over their recent tax bills are preparing to move out of the city.
Some say they are paying upwards of $1,000 more in taxes this year. They simply can't afford to live there anymore. Jamie Perez joins us now with why this year's taxes are so much higher for some people. Jamie.
Well, a majority of that cost actually comes from the new high school that they're building. The district said 57% of voters voted in favor of this, and they have to pay for it through tax dollars.
Tax bills that were sent out last week to homeowners in Sun Prairie were a lot higher than a lot of people were expecting.
You know, $500 to up over $1,000.
Brent Iceburner is running for a seat on Sun Prairie's city council. He said since he launched his campaign, he's heard from a lot of people about how this tax increase is hurting them financially.
Immediately, I've seen some individuals talking, saying how they plan on moving out of Sun Prairie. There is a realtor I know who's gotten phone calls recently about people wanting to list their house for sale now because the price in Sun Prairie has become untenable for them to maintain their house.
The majority of the increase comes from the school district building a new high school.
We went to referendum in April and passed a $164 million referendum to build the second high school and make other improvements. So that had a big tax impact.
Phil Frey said 57% of voters voted in favor of this. But Iceburner said while the people wanted the new school, they didn't necessarily want all the extras that came with it.
A few individuals I talked with were upset with the new football stadium that's being proposed, being one of the largest and nicest football stadiums for a high school football team, when we have in Sun Prairie a stadium that they feel is good enough.
Yes, the amenities for the high school, for the Ashley Field, that is part of the $164 million. Again, that was during the referendum we presented that information.
While everyone's tax bill is different depending on where they live and the value of their property, Iceburner says some people just can't handle the increase in cost.
A fixed income, it's hard to come up with. Even, you know, it may seem small to some people, but $300 a year, they need to make life changes that they were not expecting to make.
Frey says he knows the near 16% increase is surprising to some, but said the changes in the district are necessary, and a majority of the voters approve for this to happen.
With that said, there's still 40 to 42% of people that didn't support it, and you know, we live in a democracy and the referendum passed.
The city also sent a statement on this saying, in part, taxes go towards maintaining vital services for our growing population. We are working to make the budget a more transparent process so citizens can better understand the impact of their dollar.
All right, important story. Jamie Perez reporting. Now, Jamie, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Jamie. Next at 6, the Zoo Lights are open for a special girls-only event today. We'll share how a local volunteer group is helping them stay warm during their visit.
And there's more local news ahead. A Packer and Badger superfan from Australia is on his way to reaching a very ambitious goal. We'll have his story tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Find
Starting Wednesday, Children's Hospital of Wisconsin will no longer allow children under the age of 12 to visit. The temporary restriction is to help prevent the spread of the flu and other illnesses, making sure that patients, their families, and staff members stay healthy. This is happening at both the Milwaukee and the Fox Valley Hospital. It does not apply to clinic appointments or ER visits. A Packers fan who's battling cancer got to live out a life goal this weekend. Illinois native Bruce Meeks moved to Green Bay recently to seek a second opinion about his cancer diagnosis. He won tickets to see the Packers take on the Bears at our Green Bay partner station Local 5's Locker Room Show.
This is a huge bucket list moment for me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if I had a bucket list, this would be number 2 on it. First thing is to drive a car in the Grand Prix.
Meeks got to watch the game cozied up in Lambeau's indoor seating, and he says he's lucky because his cancer is in the early stages. He's getting treatment at the Vince Lombardi Cancer Clinic.
In eastern Wisconsin, the state's largest gaming center and only esports arena is opening soon. Game On, coming to Sheboygan. It'll feature more than 50 gaming computers, Xboxes, PS4s, Wii's, plus Ataris that are equipped with the new games like Fortnite, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Super Smash Brothers. According to a Facebook post, opening dates will be announced soon. Janesville's Fair Housing Code has been updated to make sure people with service and emotional support animals won't face discrimination issues. That's according to the Janesville Gazette. The updated code now says landlords cannot deny housing to people with those pets, even if the property doesn't allow animals. Those tenants are also exempt from any pet deposits or monthly pet fees.
More than 250 girls are going home tonight with winter clothes to keep them warm through the holidays. Today, the girls were invited to the Henry Vila Zoo to enjoy its annual zoo lights. They're warming up with handmade hats, scarves, and mittens made by the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program as they enjoy carousel rides and the zoo lights. The zoo lights aren't usually open on Wednesdays, but the zoo made a special exception for the girls.
A great opportunity for them to come together and really get, a better idea of where they fit into the bigger picture and the sisterhood that they're a part of together.
Madison School and Community Recreation and Girls Incorporated are bringing the girls to the zoo lights as a reward for their successful school semester.
Coming up in sports, Badger star running back Jonathan Taylor adds another award to his long list of accolades. Kevin Lewis will have an update.
And it's much colder outside tonight, but we're not expecting to have any snow this Christmas. Gary will have an update next in his First Alert forecast.
For an accurate forecast you can trust, watch First Alert Weather.
Climatologists say 2019 was the wettest year on record for Wisconsin and the Midwest since record keeping started in 1895. More than 43 inches of rain and snow fell across 9 states through November. Experts say that's about 25% above normal for the area. 4 of Wisconsin's top 5 wettest years have taken place in the last decade. Climatologists say this is consistent with scientists' predictions on climate change.
We got just a little bit of snow this morning, just enough to kind of get our hopes up, but doesn't look like it's going to stick around, not for Christmas anyway.
No, there's still a little snow in the grass out there. It'll be gone by the end of the week. Yeah. In fact, it's warm enough right now that down to the south, a severe weather outbreak is taking place across the southern part of the United States. Tornado watch is in effect for much of Mississippi and Alabama into southern Tennessee as an intense squall line sweeps from Louisiana up into the eastern portion of Tennessee. But farther to the north, it's snow on the northern edge of that storm, but well to the south of us. This is the same system that brought us a little bit of light snow late last night. Now you can see a swath of snow extending from just south of Kansas City through St. Louis and then over toward Cincinnati and Indianapolis. They're going to get quite a bit of snow there. You can see winter storm warnings remain in effect from the St. Louis metro area toward Indianapolis with winter weather advisories around it, but you can see the effect the snow had down there. They've got more than half a foot of snow on the ground in the St. Louis area. There's quite a bit of snow in the northern part of the Midwest. In fact, basically north of the Ohio River, there's a snow cover across almost that entire area with 2 exceptions, western Kansas and this little sliver right here from Iowa through southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. And future track snowfall potential, this is all the way through Christmas Day, showing nothing in the way of accumulating snow here, and that's in large part because of temperatures, although precipitation will be pretty light. 29 for high tomorrow and 18 for the high on Wednesday, but then temperatures go above normal on Thursday and stay that way all the way through Tuesday and Wednesday, which is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Temperatures then still near 40 degrees. So seasonably cold for tomorrow and a little colder for Wednesday, and then milder Thursday, very mild by the end of the week and through the weekend, and no snow expected through the Christmas holiday. As we check out the live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison, skies are partly cloudy tonight. Our high today 29, the low 19, very close to the average of 30 and 16. Tomorrow should be a very similar day as well. Right now we're at 24 degrees with partly cloudy skies. No wind chill because the winds are pretty light out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. The storm system is developing in the southeastern part of the country because of a dip in the jet stream here. Another big storm system off the Pacific coast will eventually move inland, but notice how the jet stream bulges to the north. As that happens, milder Pacific air starts moving eastward by the end of the week and should stick around for much of next week as well. Weather track, there's a weak cold front to the north and a second front behind it. That's what will drop in for Wednesday, giving us just a brief shot of colder air. Temperatures right now seasonably colder. There's a little colder air farther to the north, so that'll drop the temperatures a bit on Wednesday. In fact, Wednesday morning we could even see wind chills down to about 10 below zero. But on future track, notice the skies turning partly sunny for tomorrow, and we'll see just a brief shot of a flurry chance tomorrow night as a cold front comes through. The wind shift around to the northwest, bringing in that shot of colder air for Wednesday. But this mass of clouds moving through Wednesday night causes temperatures to rise. Notice the wind shifting around to the south, and by Thursday, temperatures will be back in the mid-30s as those winds continue out of the south for the rest of the week. So look for skies to become partly cloudy overnight, seasonably cold, low temperature at 15. For tomorrow, look for a high temperature of 29 degrees, very similar to today with partly sunny skies. On future track, partly cloudy skies tonight, temperatures dropping into the middle teens, about average for this time of year. High temperatures tomorrow will be in the upper 20s. As that cold front drops southward, a batch of clouds, maybe a few flurries tomorrow evening, and then notice temperatures dropping to the single digits by early on Wednesday morning. Wednesday, look for high temperatures only in the upper teens. 7 to 10 day forecast, though, we're back to the mid-30s on Thursday, 40 or above beginning on Friday through Monday, and near 40 for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Football All-Americans, volleyball Final Fours, a Brewers signing, the Packers win, sports, you want it, I got it, it's next.
News
Stop me if you've heard this one. Wisconsin running back Jonathan Taylor got another national award today, and it's another big one. The junior was named to the AP All-American First Team. Again, the only player to repeat on this year's roster. Taylor won the Doak Walker Award for the second straight season, finished 5th in the Heisman balloting. JT, 23, rushed for more than 1,900 yards and racked up 26 total touchdowns this season. Joining Taylor on the first team, junior center Tyler Biadasz. Big fella also won the Remington Award this year. He started all 40 games he's played at Wisconsin. Would be an NFL draft pick, but stopped short of saying what his future plans are after this season. The 4th-ranked Wisconsin volleyball team making its 3rd ever trip to the Final Four, where they'll face #1 Baylor Thursday in Pittsburgh. Head coach Kelly Sheffield said his players said they never lost confidence this season, even after a 4-4 start. They've swept every match this postseason, and Sheffield said the key was having fun, and the key is still having fun in the moment. Or is it?
The time for having fun is over. You should be as wound tight as possible. It's you can imagine what it's like to play for me with bad jokes like that. It's personally, I think our team plays better when there's a looseness about them, when there's a when they're living in the moment, they're not worrying about anything else, and they're just having some fun.
The Packers beat the Bears and clinched a playoff spot, but not necessarily a home playoff spot. They can do that with a win at Minnesota 1 week from tonight. That would give them the NFC North title. Head coach Matt LaFleur is the first Packers coach to reach the playoffs in his first season, but he's been consistent in saying that his team needs to get better, and their first real goal can be accomplished against the Vikings.
When you think about the playoffs, and I don't even want to think about it right now, but it's also extremely important to us to try to get as many games as we can in our own stadium. So the goal is, though, the division.
The Brewers made an addition this morning, signing 32-year-old right-hander Josh Lindbloom to a 3-year deal. If you hadn't heard of him before, don't worry. He's pitched parts of some major league seasons, but played most of the last 5 years in Korea, winning the Korean Baseball Organization MVP last year and doing a little reinventing of himself.
Continue to refine, continue to develop, continue just to get better. Facing players in Asia provides some different challenges, the way the guys hit. So I knew that I needed to adapt. I knew that I needed to just get better overall. And if there was an opportunity to come back here, I needed to be the best.
Looking for that little last-minute holiday gift? How about Babe Ruth's 500th home run bat? Sold for just more than $1 million this weekend. Ruth hit number 500 on August 11th, 1929. His 1923 Yankee Stadium opening day home run bat went for $1.265 million 15 years ago. So you can fit that in a stocking.
Is the bat
looks good under the tree?
Is the bat for his 468th homer?
I don't know. You'll probably fetch a good pin for it. Yeah, I have no idea. But it's, it's a bat. It's got his name on it. It's great.
Makes a great gift.
Yeah.
Final check, Gary.
Well, temperatures right now, mid-20s here in Madison, 24 degrees. Janesville, 27. A little colder to the north, lower 20s there. But otherwise, that 7 to 10 day forecast, if you're looking for a white Christmas, not a lot of help there. Temperatures a little colder for Wednesday, but then warming up into the mid-30s on Thursday, and at or above 40 from Friday through Monday, and close to 40 for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And you don't see much in the way of precipitation chances. Next chance of any chance of accumulating snow would be the day after Christmas. And
that could be good for traveling, though.
It will.
That's the good part of that. Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a good night, everybody. Charlotte will be back tonight at 10. We'll see you then.